So now we're going to look at your assignment. This is going to be the 6. I may have 2 parts. See how we can fit that all in one. But so start your document, and again, right away, I would go ahead and save it. And because I don't know if it's going to be 1 or 2 files, we may actually do 2. So go ahead and name it and create a folder. Wherever you have the other folder, so go save as, name the file. It's going to be last, first, okay, and lab, which one?
3.
Yes. But this is not lab 3. What is the not file name? And this is not a folder.
6.
Yes, so it's lab assigned 6. Okay, the file name is the lab assignment. Then you're creating the folder to put into it. So first, last, first, lab assignment 6, and we're gonna do A. Okay. Now I'm gonna go and save it maybe on my desktop again. I'm gonna do a new folder and name it. This is where you name it. How you name it?
Lab first is for lab.
Yeah, lab 3. That's it. Okay. So the folder name is gonna be whatever lab you have to do this. Okay. Lab 3. Right? And I'm gonna save my assignment there. And again, CS6. Okay. Now what I'm gonna do right away, actually we're not gonna print this, but it's a good practice, is set up your margins. Okay, remember how to do that? Okay, so Command R is for the rulers, and just drag them out to 0.5.
I'm sorry, did you say after you make a folder named Lab 3?
So now I'm moving it down to 0.6 all around. I just want to, this is a good practice because I may actually make you print your lab assignment mini project, the mini project you have to do, so you need to have margins set, that way you want this. So remember, you can right click on the ruler and change it. Okay, so now what we're gonna do, we will select the first type tool, so just click T on your keyboard or select the type, and I want you to put your name. Okay, we're gonna do your name first. So go ahead and type your name. Put your name.
I got yours too.
If you're, okay, so just click and type. Now, if your name, if you don't have your character showing, I'm recording, so let's keep the noise to minimum. For those recording later, listening to this. So let's look at, if you don't have the character showing, go under Window, type, and pull up your character. Command T is the shortcut. Command T. Okay. What I want you to do is change your type to something that represents maybe more you. So change it to anything else. So go ahead and change your type. I'm going to choose, let's see which one I want to choose. I'm trying to see. I'm just going to choose Lucinda. I thought I did it, but I guess it didn't. Oh, I should click on something else. Maybe I choose something else since I am too fast for this and it doesn't let me select it all. So choose that font. Now we purchased a lot of fonts, and you probably can see on the font it says T or O. Anybody knows the difference? True type or open type? True type is not as, open type is much better. Anytime you have to choose between open type or true type, go with open type. It gives less issues and the representation of it. True type is, so open type is always way to go. Another class you're going to learn about type and why, but I'm going to do open type. Gabriela. Now what I want you to do is change the size of this. Make it somehow kind of, not too small on the page. You can also type the size if it's, I'm going to do it as 46 is good. Now you notice if you do that and if you draw a box accidentally and your type is not showing, only thing you want to do is click back or press V on your keyboard. No, it doesn't work like that, right? You have to click it. Select the selection tool and then enlarge it so you can see the whole name. Next, what I want you to do is your last name. Why don't you put it on a separate line? So just drop that down, separate line. If it's not showing, click on selection tool and show it. And we're gonna make some adjustments. Now what you're gonna do, and again, probably you wanna watch me first. We're gonna change a few things. We're gonna change the leading to make it closer. We want the Z, or my last name at least, to kind of be touching the M almost. So I'm going to try to change it. Well, that's too much. That's really touching, right? Close, kind of closer to the size. If I do the size, it'll be too much space. That's fine. Now, if I'm not really happy, it's not exactly touching that letter, I can type that in. So I'm going to try 40. Actually, 30, going lower. 35, maybe more. So you can actually type it in. Okay, so the K is touching the A, that's close enough. So make sure when you adjust it, select the now yours will be different points. What I want you to do, whatever the tallest letter you have, in this case I have the K, kind of touching your other one. Make sure nothing overlaps. Okay, so do so. So since I'm recording this, and I guess somebody else, if the other class watches that and they see my interface has changed, I went to Preferences, User Interface, and just lighten it up so now you can see better. Thank you to my brilliant students. So let's do okay. Okay, so the next thing after you do their touching, I want you to select your first name only. It's going to look like a second one selected, but only your first name. You can just double click on the name. And then we're going to change the spacing. We're going to make it extend more, okay? So I'm going to just do by 50. So do 50. So extend it so you can see the type. Okay. Another thing we're going to do with this type, and this is where we can play with color as well. So the first name, select it, and then change the fill of this one to any color that you like, okay? Whatever your favorite color is, you can go ahead and change it to that color.
The whole thing?
No, only the first name. Okay? Now the second name, change it to another color, but we're gonna, instead of changing the color, you're gonna do the stroke on it and no fill. Did you hear me? Your last name, okay, no fill. So you click on the fill, do none, only stroke, and now change it to another color that you like, so your second favorite. Okay, so this is what you should have. First name, you should have fill only, and your last name, you should have no fill and only stroke. At this point, I suggest you save your document by pressing Command S. So now I'm going to just move this, my name. I'm just going to make that box a little bit fitting to my name, and then move it in a corner here by this, at this point. Now next what we're going to do is work with our area tool for the type. So what you have to do is draw a shape first. So let's do a little star. So select the star tool from your tools, the star. So just click and hold when you have rectangular tool, select the star, and then draw a little star here. Okay. It doesn't matter if it's color or not, it's gonna go away. Now, since the settings have been set to the last type you used, I want you to change your type. I want you to change it to something else. Actually, I want you to do the same type as I will. So change it to Gil Sans. not Jill, it's Gil. Okay? Gil Sans, and then select, when you do Gil Sans, select light. So I want you to go, after you draw your star, go back into your fonts, select Gil Sans, and then select light. Now, another thing I want you to do for the type, and actually let me make sure I'm selected. Make sure you have your selection area type tool selected when you do all this. If you don't, make sure it's selected, okay? Now we're going to change the size of this to 12. We will change the leading back to auto. And we will change the kerning to 0. Okay? So what I did is this. I select Gil Sans Light. You have to do the same font. Okay? Change the size to 12 points. Change the leading to auto. And change the kerning to 0. Now, other thing you need to change is your fill and stroke. Okay, right now we have the stroke selected. So what I'm going to do for the stroke, select none. And then select my fill. And I'm just going to go, notice on the color or swatches, select black. And yeah, this may happen. I don't care. It doesn't matter because it's going to go away in a minute. We have that selected, right? So now, once you select it, once you have your fill black, and if another way to do is double clicking and just clicking the bottom, okay? Once you have it selected, then with your type tool, you should be still select the area type tool, okay? With that one, go ahead and click on the top of your star and start typing good morning. Sorry. And then keep repeating it. So you can just copy that and just keep repeating good morning. It's not morning, but it feels like it. Right. So you notice how the type area type works. So now, what if I want to use the star? You think I can redraw it? That's more work. So if I want to use that star, I will suggest you originally have 2 copies. Because now it's just going to be a type. So just copy and paste your good morning. All right? So I'm just going to keep copying it. So we have our star. Now we're going to do another tool from the type. So now we're going to do another tool, and we're going to do the one typing on the path. So why don't we draw, I want you to draw ellipse. Anybody remembers the shortcut for ellipse? L, yep. Good job, Mr. Fix. L. But you need to click outside of it. Otherwise, it won't work, okay? One thing about the type, once you select the type, you have to click out of it. And then, so next to it, just draw a little, like a circle. You can keep the same settings, okay? Now, when it comes to type, go ahead and select your type on a path tool under your tools. Now, this is where I want you to select your type, okay? We're gonna, once I select the type on the path tool and I have my shape drawn, we're gonna start somewhere right here. You see the side? Not in the middle, but we're gonna start on that side a little bit. So click on this, and then if you copy your good morning, then just copy that over. You can do a good afternoon, I don't care. Okay. So I just copied my type that I used before, and I have my good morning going around it. Now after, and you probably want to watch me now, and then you can do this. After you have typed it, I want you to select the direct selection tool. And if you press V, it will just type inside it. So just go ahead and choose it. And then what I want you to see what to do, we're going to do 2 things. We want to move this type, okay? So I'm going to find my middle handle right here. And then move that type. So it start, okay? Move it and move it. Don't move it. Okay, so I'm going to move it. Now if you move it too much, this may happen. So just rotate it. Right? Next we're gonna flip it to the inside. This is how you do this. Look, hold and go inside the circle. So move it and flip it. That's all you have to do with the type. After you have done this part, I want you to color the whole type. So you can just click in it and do Command A. Command A will just select it all, and then change it to blue. I'm just going to select my blue shade, my swatches maybe. And there we go, our type. So now we're going to draw in our own shape. I'm going to draw a heart. You can do any one of them. Let's try it again here. Oh, wrong tool. I need to click on that. Alright, that's even better than first time. So what's important now, we actually want to preserve the shape. So whatever you draw, you have some time. I give you 10 minutes to draw this, because I really want you to do a pretty decent job. Don't just like, don't have something throw up on your page, okay? But I want to discuss the layers with you at the same time. So if you notice right now, we put everything in one layer. So if I want to lock something, it's going to lock all of it. But what we're going to do is, in the meantime, when you work on this, you can create a new layer, and we're gonna name it whatever shape that you just did. I'm gonna name it heart. And in that layer, I have nothing at this point. So if you haven't drawn anything yet, create your layer. If you don't see your layers, go under Window Layers, right? Because I have drawn my shape, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cut it from this layer where it is right now, layer 1. So I'm going to do Command X, and then I'm going to go in my heart layer, select that, and then Command V, paste, so it's just by itself. Okay, so I can lock or make it visible everything else, and you still have my heart. Oh, you still have my heart. That's so romantic. All right, so go ahead and do so. So after you draw the shape and you repeat it in a new layer, guess what you have to do? You have to copy and paste that shape. You need to have 2 of the same shape. And you can put in a new layer as well. Did you hear me? So you're going to have 3 layers total. Twice will be the heart. So I'm going to delete that one. Oh, not that one. I'm just deleting the layer I just created for example purposes. So those watching, don't worry what I just did. So I'm going to copy that layer again, and you can do another way. You can actually click and copy the layer or copy the shape in a new layer. So you can actually duplicate heart. You see this? Option on here on top of the layers, duplicate, allows you to duplicate the layer. So you don't have to redraw it or copy and so on. So I just duplicated my heart. I have 2 of them. And the reason why I have 2 is because I want to keep one of them, and the other one I want to be my shape. So after you're done, this is what you want to do. So you're going to duplicate it, just watch, because you're not going to do it at the same time. Then you're going to go back to your type tool, and you're going to go into your type on a path tool, right? And then you're going to start typing on that path, and you can name it. If it's heart is the car, whatever name it is, just type it in there. Now mine by default is going in the inside, so I want to flip it on the outside. So heart. I cannot spell anymore. Oh yeah, I cannot spell on the side. So let me copy that over and then repeat it. You can change the font to anything you want as long as it's visible. So, I moved it too much. Right? I'm going to make it big. So you can change the font, you can change the size, but one thing what I want you to remember is make sure it shows on the outside. So you need to find that middle handle somewhere, and it's going to change the pointer and flip it on the outside. Now, and you can arrange it. Now if your shape, so I'm going to change the color of it as well. Right? One thing you notice, if the stroke was really thick in the last one, I'll probably go back into that layer, lock the first one, and just change the stroke to be a little bit less than this. I'm gonna make it 3. So there it is. There's my shape, and I have 3 layers: layer 1, hard, and hard copy. So make sure to save your document, and we are done with this one. So we're gonna continue to part B.